Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I'm Benjamin Dixon, filling in for David while he is away. Yesterday was not a good day for Ben Carson, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. I have two clips. They're both long clips, but they are definitely worth watching. The first clip is when Ben Carson did not know the difference between an REO, real estate owned property, and Oreo, as in Oreo cookies. Take a listen in.
Also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO. Mm-hmm. And FHA loans have much higher REOs. That is, they go to foreclosure rather than to loss mitigation or to non-foreclosure alternatives like short sales than comparable loans at the GSEs. So I'd like to know why we're having more foreclosures that end in people losing their homes with stains to their credit and disruption to their communities and their neighborhoods at FHA than we are at the GSEs.
I would be extremely happy if you'd like to have you work with the people who do that.
Well, Mr. Carson, respectfully, that was my day job before I came to Congress. So now it's my job to ask you to work with the people.
I'm talking about the people at HUD who do that.
Okay, so later in the day, this Congresswoman sent over a bag of Oreos, a container of Oreo cookies to Ben Carson, and he proudly displayed it in a tweet. There's so many layers of self-own that happened in that tweet, but that's not what I want to talk about. Listen, I did not know what an REO was before this, but I'm not the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. It's not my job to know those things, right? And it's just hilarious. Ben Carson, it blows me away that Ben Carson is simultaneously smart enough to be a neurosurgeon, a world-renowned neurosurgeon, but also a complete moron who should not be in public service, as demonstrated in this. Like, he's been there for going on 3 years now. And so he's obviously not doing his job or approaching his job with any sense of intellectual curiosity. The same intellectual curiosity that led him to becoming a neurosurgeon, he's completely well, let's just say abdicated his responsibilities to learn. So this was an extremely embarrassing moment. I also want you to note kind of the smug condescension with which he speaks to women in this clip. It's like he doesn't even really care that he's the moron in this exchange, that he's the idiot in this exchange. He actually is looking as though he's superior to her. Well, in this next clip, he attempts to do a Maxine Waters and reclaim his time with Representative Ayanna Pressley out of Massachusetts, and it did not go like he thought it would go. Take a look at this clip.
It is well documented that health problems such as lead poisoning, asthma, and injuries from trips and falls, especially amongst our senior population, can be linked to substandard housing conditions. Combined, these conditions result in billions a year in healthcare costs. Many of those most at risk of developing these conditions reside in public and federally assisted housing. Yes or no? If left unaddressed, do you believe the substandard public housing conditions pose a risk to tenants' physical, mental, and emotional health? If left unaddressed.
Yes or no? Can you ask me some questions yourself?
You don't get to dictate what my line of questioning is, reclaiming my time. You're a very smart man, so you understand the question. Please answer it. Yes or no? If left unaddressed, which I believe they are unaddressed because this budget does not reflect the need, do you believe the substandard public housing conditions pose a risk to tenants' physical, mental, and emotional health?
You already know the answer to that.
Yes or no?
You know the answer.
Yes or no? I know the answer. Do you know the answer? Yes or no?
Reclaiming my time.
You don't get to do that.
The time belongs to the gentle lady.
Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, there's a lot going on here, but I just noticed, honestly, on the fly, I just noticed that under his breath, he said to the Congresswoman, you can reclaim your time as much as you want. That's so disrespectful. and just shows like this guy has a serious problem with women coming at him with a line of questioning, or with anything for that matter. I mean, look at how look at his posture and his demeanor. I'm not going to sit here and psychoanalyze this guy to pieces, but he's a jackass. I'm sorry, Pat, if I can't say that on radio, just bleep that out for me. But seriously, you can reclaim your time as much as you want. And then he tried to do it and realized that he can't actually do that. So they took the argument to Twitter, and this is what Ben Carson said. He said, quote, "The American people deserve better than a yes or no answer. Hashtag reclaiming my time." And Representative Ayanna Pressley, she said this in response. She said, quote, "You know what the American people deserve, Secretary Carson? Justice. Tell me how tearing apart immigrant families and subjecting our seniors and babies to mold-infested walls, raw sewage, and crumbling buildings is acceptable. I'll wait. Hashtag reclaiming my time." Now, a lot of posturing and stuff there, but her question is poignant, right? The questions that she was asking were important, right? We have two things going on simultaneously. If you juxtapose the first clip with the second clip, you'll see that at the same time, we have a higher percentage of real estate owned properties that have been foreclosed on by by federal agencies versus other agencies. Then it makes you beg the question, like, what's going on with these federal loans that people are being foreclosed on at a higher rate? Simultaneously, you have these housing conditions. On the other side of the ledger, you have these housing conditions where people are living exposed to raw sewage, crumbling buildings, and it is unacceptable, right? It is a situation, and Ben Carson is directly responsible for addressing these issues. And instead, what he's currently working on is putting quote unquote illegal immigrants or undocumented workers out of housing, which is going to leave some 50,000 American citizens, children, homeless or separated from their parents. So he's working on executing Donald Trump's barbaric immigration policies and to inflict some type of cruel punishment on anyone who came to this country in a manner that Trump doesn't approve of, right? That's what he's working on, but he's neglecting the fact that you have an obscene amount of foreclosures that are happening with our government agencies, higher than private agencies, and simultaneously people living in the worst conditions imaginable, all underneath his watch. And what is he interested in? He's interested in showing his smug condescension against these women who didn't come to play yesterday. Yesterday was an overall bad day for Secretary Ben Carson.